Howdy, everyone. It's Monday's weather for Weather Geeks. As usual, on Monday, I have meteorologist Mike Joyce. And
Hello.
this morning, Mike, was frosty at my house.
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah, and now we're pushing 70 here in the 2 o'clock hour, so it's been a nice turnaround today. This is a whopper of a warm front coming through. It is in the mid 70s in Columbus. They're pushing 80 in Cincinnati this afternoon. So this is quite a dramatic change in the air mass here across northeast Ohio and western PA. You could probably draw that warm front kind of maybe right through here this afternoon, and there's some serious warmth on the south side of this. And Mike, you and I were talking before we hit record about the dew points tomorrow even getting into the 60s, which is pretty remarkable considering we had frost and temperatures in the 20s in spots
Exactly.
this morning. Dew points this afternoon locally are still very dry. The real significant juicy air is still from the Ohio River south and west. Dew point in Cincinnati is 60, but it's only 33 here in Youngstown. So that's a big difference from one corner of the state to the other. As you know, or may hopefully know, we've got pretty big changes occurring in our weather this week. We're going to go from possible record-tying warmth tomorrow, possible heavy thunderstorms tomorrow, to snow flurries
Yes,
and
it's
falling
coming.
temperatures at the end of the week. So we've got you covered here. We're gonna get through the next week in a lot of detail here. On the map this afternoon, there's not a lot going on across the nation, but with our low pressure system, there is some rain up here across Minnesota, the Dakotas, and yeah, there is some snow shower activity out in Montana. And you can definitely pick out where the fronts are pretty easily this afternoon. Here's our cold front out in the middle of the country, and that's the front that's going to come east tomorrow and cause the showers and possible thunder tomorrow afternoon. We'll get to tomorrow in just a second, but just a real quick overview of the rest of the country today. It looks like an October map. In other words, Mike, we're in that transitional season where some places are hanging on to summer, and some places winter is quickly settling in. And yeah, we go from the lower 30s at the U.S.-Canadian border to middle 80s down in Houston, Texas this afternoon. So it's an interesting weather map. The weather can be boring at this time of the year.
Right.
We've been lamenting that a lot lately, how it's nice when the weather's really nice out and nice crisp fall days, but September and October can be pretty darn boring weather-wise before winter settles in. There's rarely severe weather, but finally things are getting pretty interesting here as we head through the next several days. All right. Let's bring up tomorrow's NAM model, the 4-kilometer NAM, in other words, the high-resolution NAM model. And that's not what I wanted. I wanted that one. And I didn't want that. I want the simulated radar. So we're going to show you what the radar should look like tomorrow, at least based on the NAM model, which is in pretty good agreement with most of our other models. Tomorrow starts dry, so at the bus stop tomorrow morning, no problems. Kids don't need any rain gear first thing in the morning. But tomorrow afternoon is when things will start to get kind of active. What do you think as far as start time here tomorrow afternoon, Mike? Late afternoon?
Mid to late afternoon. We were just talking before we recorded as well about, maybe things are slowing down a little bit. And that was one thing I was dealing with this weekend is like, what is the timing of the front? But right now, I think we're going to get it through, later afternoon, early evening.
The models have been wavering a lot on the timing of this. There was a day late last week where I took out the chance for rain tomorrow because it looked so slow it wasn't going to come till tomorrow night. Now everything's sped back up and it's slowed down again a little bit. But the bottom line is here's the NAM simulated radar at 3 p.m. tomorrow, and this is when things are becoming a little more active. Showers, and yes, there could be some thunder mixed in with this. Let's take a look at a few things for mid-afternoon tomorrow. First things first, let's look at the CAPE, convective available potential energy, kind of a measure of the instability in the atmosphere. And this is not through the roof at all by any stretch of the imagination, but it is enough. There's enough instability that, there could be some thunder with values here of perhaps 500, 600 joules per kilogram. And if you're really into the weather, you know what I'm talking about. If that's something that you don't quite understand, basically anything over a couple of hundred means, thunder could happen. Anything over 1,000 joules per kilogram, then our ears start to perk up for a good chance perhaps of some severe weather. We're kind of in between that tomorrow. So, I think there could be a strong storm or two tomorrow. But a big severe weather day, it doesn't seem all that likely. So that's the CAPE tomorrow. Now, the wind speeds tomorrow are pretty impressive, not far off the deck. Here's a look at the wind speeds tomorrow at about 5,000 feet. So this is not far up in the atmosphere. And some of these magenta colors, purplish, I'm not real great with colors, but magenta, I guess.
Magenta, yeah. I'm not a color guy myself.
Yeah. Anyway, the legend's over here on the left. And, we're getting up into the 50 to 60, 65 mile per hour range. Not at the surface, but up at 5,000 feet. Well, if you get a decent thunderstorm or even just a heavy shower that can have a nice downdraft, air rushing out of a thunderstorm, it can pull down some of that wind energy. So I wouldn't be shocked if we did have a stray severe thunderstorm warning in a couple of spots tomorrow. Maybe not in our viewing area, but somewhere in eastern Ohio, central Ohio, because of how much wind energy there is to pull down. The energy is there to be had if you can get a decent enough shower or a thunderstorm. So that's something we'll have to keep an eye on tomorrow afternoon, starting about mid-afternoon. I'll go back to the simulated radar here and go forward a couple of hours. So that was 3 p.m. Here's 5 p.m. Whoops, not what I wanted to do. Click on this first, and we'll go ahead to 5 p.m. So right before or around dinner time here, this is probably when we have our highest chance of rain the whole day, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, something like that. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. By 7 o'clock, would you agree, Mike, that the chance for any thunderstorm activities winding down?
Right. That's the point where the front is going to be approaching fast, and we're going to start cooling down.
Yeah, absolutely. The cool air is coming now. The real cool air is not coming till the weekend, but the air behind this front will be cooler. It will be more seasonable, a little more typical of the season. But anyone who sees thunder and perhaps even a heavy thunderstorm, it'd be right along the leading edge of this, I would suspect. So by 7 o'clock, that's well east of us. And then tomorrow evening, just a few leftover showers. So yeah, we're going to cool off behind this. We'll skip ahead then to Wednesday. Any rain at this point looks like it's probably gone by daybreak, probably out to our east. And Wednesday overall is an uneventful day. Maybe there's a lake effect rain shower up towards Erie, but nothing around here. Thursday is also pretty uneventful, just seasonably chilly or even a little below average. But the mother load of cold, yeah, that's coming with this front on Friday. This is Halloween. Friday afternoon, that front is knocking on the door. It's probably going to turn kind of windy on Friday. And these showers are going to start to push in. And this could be one of those things where the temperature drops 15 degrees at the onset of the precipitation. In other words, what's our high temperature forecast for Friday? Do you remember?
Mid-40s.
Mid-40s.
That could occur early in the day, too.
Yeah, or it could occur right before it starts to rain. You can go from having 47 degrees to 39 degrees in 15 minutes because this air mass is cold and the showers will be pulling down some of that cold air from aloft as well. So that could be a raucous end of Friday. There's a lot of trick-or-treats Friday on Halloween from 5 to 7 or in that vicinity. And not great timing on that. Probably some showers around. And the later you are outside in the evening on Friday, I think the more likely it is you start to see some snow showers around. In fact, here's the GFS right here. GFS model for Friday evening at 8 p.m. It shows the rain-snow line close, maybe a little just off to our west, but certainly as you head towards midnight Friday night into Saturday morning, a lot of places are going to see snowflakes. Now, does this stick? Probably not, at least not on the roads, but you get a little dusting maybe on your car tops or something like that. So this is the first legitimate winter type of air mass that's coming down so far this season. So that's the story from late Friday into Saturday. You're going to see some snow showers around. It's probably not going to stick. It's not a big deal. It's not unusual for this time of the year. A lot of times we see some snowflakes this time of the year. It's significant because it's the first time really that we've had a decent chance of seeing some snow showers. This is going to turn into a whopper of an East Coast storm on Saturday. Most of this is rain, but some of the higher elevations from the Poconos up through the Catskills, perhaps up into Vermont, New Hampshire, someone might get a few inches of real wet, gloppy snow out of this on Saturday, but that's not really a concern for us, thankfully. And then just chilly for a couple of days after that. As far as the longer range temperature outlook, the one thing that's nice about this, Mike, is this is a pretty quick hitting cold air mass. It's going to be here for Friday afternoon, the weekend, and then beyond that, it's kind of back to normal for early November. So we might see a high of 38 or 39, 40 if we're lucky on Saturday. And then Sunday's a better day, still below average, but better. And then we should be back in the 50s next week, and that's where we should be at this time of the year. In fact, this might be a little underdone in the longer range. Some of the longer range modeling suggests that that period of the second week of November could actually be above average. And so we might not be done with the 60s anytime real soon once we get deeper into November. That is today's Weather for Weather Geeks. Thank you for watching, everyone. Be sure and follow Mike on social media. Be sure and follow me if you're not already. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you got to it through social media. But if you don't follow Mike, it's Mike Joyce, WFMJ on Twitter, or put meteorologist in front of your name on Facebook to find you.
Yes.
And we will see you next time on Weather for Weather Geeks.